Remember those faces that once covered every teen magazine, bedroom wall, and locker door in the 1990s? The guys who made you swoon, sparked fan clubs, and set the standard for dreamy before social media even existed? Fast forward to today, and you might walk right past these former heartthrobs on the street without a second glance. Time, fame, and life have transformed them in ways that are both surprising and, sometimes, downright unrecognizable. Let's take a look at the 90s icons who've changed so much, you'll have to do a double take. Back in the 90s, Beverly Hills 90210 was the ultimate teen drama, and Jason Priestley was its blue-eyed poster boy. As Brandon Walsh, he was the guy everyone wanted to date or be. Today, Priestley is still acting, most recently on the CW's Wild Cards, but you're more likely to spot him on Instagram, where he shares updates about fan conventions and his Pilates studio in Nashville. The classic pompadour is gone, replaced by a more mature look, but those piercing blue eyes remain. Priestley has embraced his age, trading in heartthrob status for a quieter, entrepreneurial life. If you were a 90s kid, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was probably your first crush. As Randy on Home Improvement and the voice of young Simba in The Lion King, he was everywhere. But after a few guest spots on Last Man Standing in the early 2010s, Thomas stepped away from the spotlight. He's rarely seen in public and hasn't acted in a decade. In interviews, he's hinted at a desire to work behind the camera, but for now, he's living a low-key, private life, looking nothing like the long-haired, blue-eyed teen idol who once adorned every locker. Andrew Keegan gave Heath Ledger a run for his money in 10 Things I Hate About You as the cocky Joey Donner. He also starred in Camp Nowhere and a TV remake of Freaky Friday. While Ledger and Joseph Gordon-Levitt went on to A-list careers, Keegan's path took a different turn. He's still acting, most recently in indie films like Healing Towers, but his days as a mainstream heartthrob are behind him. Keegan also founded a spiritual community in Venice, California, focusing on personal growth and wellness. Number 90's heartthrob list is complete without a boy band member, and Joey Fatone of NSYNC was unforgettable, goatee and all. While Justin Timberlake became a pop superstar, Fatone reinvented himself on Broadway, performing in shows like Rock of Ages and hosting game shows. He's also appeared in the My Big Fat Greek Wedding film series. These days, Fatone sports a gray beard and a more mature look, but he's still entertaining crowds, just in a different way. Saved by the Bell made Mark-Paul Gosselaar a household name as the mischievous Zach Morris. With his blonde hair and quick wit, he was the ultimate 90s class clown. Today, Gosselaar is almost unrecognizable with dark hair and a beard, starring in series like Pitch, Franklin and Bash, and the Saved by the Bell reboot. He's embraced his evolution, admitting that his 90s fame feels like a distant memory. For Gosselaar, it was just a job, one that happened to make him a teen idol. Devon Sawa's brief, but memorable role as Casper's human form in Casper made him an instant heartthrob. He followed it up with hits like Now and Then, Wild America, and Final Destination, cementing his place in 90s pop culture. Sawa has continued acting, especially in horror, with recent roles in the Chucky TV series and the slasher Hard Eyes. He's older, wiser, and still handsome, but you might not recognize the detective on screen as the same kid from your childhood posters. The Lawrence brothers were everywhere in the 90s, but Joey Lawrence stood out with his role on Blossom and his signature catchphrase, "Whoa." He was the leather-jacketed dreamboat with a heart of gold. Lawrence kept acting, starring in Melissa and Joey alongside Melissa Joan Hart, but he's traded his famous long locks for a shaved head. The baby face is gone, but Lawrence has embraced adulthood, focusing on family and steady work in TV and film. Johnny Depp's 90s run was legendary, with roles in Cry Baby, Edward Scissorhands, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. His cheekbones and brooding style made him a global heartthrob. But recent years have been turbulent. Depp's legal battles with ex-wife Amber Heard dominated headlines, overshadowing his career. He's now more often seen with long hair, facial hair, and a rock star vibe, performing with his band Hollywood Vampires. The pretty boy image is gone, replaced by a more rugged, controversial persona. Brendan Fraser was the action hero of the 90s, starring in George of the Jungle, The Mummy, and Gods and Monsters. His athletic build and charm made him a fan favorite. After a period away from the spotlight, Fraser made a triumphant return with The Whale, earning an Oscar for Best Actor. He's openly discussed stepping back from fame to focus on his well-being, and while he looks different now, Fraser says he's more comfortable in his own skin than ever before. Chris O'Donnell's turn as Robin in Batman and Robin made him a superhero heartthrob. He also starred in Fried Green Tomatoes and Scent of a Woman. Today, O'Donnell is a familiar face on TV, starring in NCIS, Los Angeles for over a decade, and now leading the new procedural 9/11, Nashville. He's traded matinee idol looks for a more everyman appeal and is a devoted family man with 5 kids. Hanson, Isaac, Taylor, and Zach were the ultimate 90s boy band brothers, thanks to their hit, Bop, and their long, flowing hair. They were so young and fresh-faced that people sometimes mistook them for sisters. Today, Hanson still tours and releases music, but their style has matured. They're often asked about their hair, but as they joke, there's no secret, just random shampoo and a lot less fuss. The baby faces are gone, but the brotherly bond and musical talent remain. Edward Furlong shot to fame as John Connor in Terminator 2, Judgment Day, with his long hair and troubled persona. Fame hit hard, and Furlong struggled with addiction for years. But in recent times, he's turned his life around, celebrating over 7 years of sobriety. He's open about his journey, sharing on Instagram that he's finally facing life head-on and discovering self-worth. Furlong may not look like the teen idol he once was, but his story is one of resilience and hope. The 90s heartthrobs have taken wildly different paths. Some, like Jason Priestley and Chris O'Donnell, have found steady work and family life. Others, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Andrew Keegan, stepped away from the limelight to pursue personal passions. A few, like Johnny Depp and Edward Furlong, faced public struggles but continue to evolve. And then there are the boy banders and brother acts, still making music but no longer the fresh-faced kids we remember. What unites them all is the passage of time. The 90s were a unique era for celebrity culture, and these men were at its center. Today, they're living proof that fame is fleeting, but reinvention, and sometimes redemption, is always possible. Aging is inevitable, even for the biggest stars. The 90s heartthrobs may look different now, but their impact on pop culture is undeniable. Whether they're acting, making music, or living quietly out of the spotlight, they've all carved out new identities beyond their teen idol days. And for fans, the nostalgia remains, reminding us that while looks may fade, the memories of those heartthrob years are forever.